Oh yeah.
This is what we teach.
Right.
Okay, this over here, what the Lord calls Benjamin,
Sure.
Judah, Benjamin, Levi, so on and so forth. And this is what our slave master called us. Okay, American blacks, West Indians, Jamaicans, Haitians, Puerto Ricans, Jews, so on and so forth. Okay.
Sure.
When we was in slavery, that's what they called it. Like for instance, Jamaican means wood and water. They got to do with it. It means what? Wood and water.
Wood and water.
That's what Jamaican means. So a lot of these names that the slave master gave us mean some crazy stuff. But that's not what God calls us. This is what God calls us. The reason why I said that is basically you have to be a descendant of this tribe to be an Israelite, to be God's chosen people. Okay? Because think about it. Christ went to the cross, right? He died for the ones that Moses came down and gave the commandments to.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But who did he give the commandments to? Moses came down and gave the commandments to these 12 tribes here. You see what I'm saying? That's why this is VIP.
But let me stop you right there. Before Moses gave the commandments, did the commandments already exist? Are you sure?
It was spoken.
No, that's not true.
According to the Bible, you got a scripture.
Yeah, the Nebuchadnezzar. You can go to Egypt right now. The
No,
Nebuchadnezzar.
before you talk about Egypt, we believe that the ones in Egypt.
I'm answering your question that you asked me. You asked me whether they're written down, and I'm telling you that they are written down.
They're not. We don't believe that they're the same type of laws. I'm going to tell you why.
No, I read them. I know Hebrew.
I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Because the ones basically that was Egypt was what
It's
tribe?
called the negative confession.
No, I'm talking about the people. What province were they?
Okay, let's go back to your thing. Are they written down? Are they written down in Israel?
Not the laws that Moses brought down to the children of Israel.
No, that's not true. He was trained in all the ways of the Egyptians.
Okay, so
even his name is Egyptian.
But basically, I'm trying to tell you, if you listen to me,
Right.
the Most High wasn't dealing with the Canaanites. Okay, the Hamites. The Most High wasn't dealing with them.
But the law was already there. It existed.
The Most High wasn't dealing with them. So we believe that those laws that you talked about.
No, it's the same ones. It's the same ones. It says, the negative confession says, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. Thou shalt not murder. Thou shalt not steal.
Who told you that?
But I'm trying to tell you that it's the same. They're no different.
Who said? You say you speak Hebrew.
Yes, I do.
You say you speak Egyptian.
I study Hebrew.
But
No,
you
the
study Egyptian?
Nebuchadnezzar, no, I don't know.
Okay,
No.
so they could tell you anything.
But it's written.
Okay.
You see, because even in Aswan, where they put the dam, those were the black Egyptians.
Exactly. Mennonites.
Right.
Okay, we don't believe you. See, to be an
But
Israelite.
the law was already existing. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's why when Moses killed the Egyptian, right? He fled. Why did he flee? Because the law was already in existence.
Okay, but this is what I'm saying.
Right.
This is what I'm saying.
I heard you.
What I
You asked
believe.
me, was it written?
Listen, I believe the laws that Moses brought down from the mountain, the law that Moses brought down from the mountain, I believe was not the same laws that the Egyptians had.
No,
let me
it's the
tell
same.
you
It's the
why.
same.
But you gotta know my position in this.
No, it's the same. That part you're wrong. They are the same.
Bro, my position, listen to my position.
Not position.
Okay.
You're asking, are they different? I'm telling you they're the same.
I didn't ask you what you're different.
No, you said that they're different.
Yeah,
They're not different.
So why? So why I'm saying that you don't know why you're not understanding why I'm saying we're different.
Tell me why.
Because we believe that you're going to be descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob for the Lord to deal with you.
How can you prove it yourself?
Prove what?
That you're a descendant.
Right, look.
I'm asking you, how can you prove it?
Okay. Do you believe in the Bible?
The Bible.
No, I'm asking you. Do you believe?
No, the word Bible. God never used the word Bible.
Okay. Do you believe in the Torah?
The Torah had 600 laws. No. I mean, okay, I didn't know there was a rule that I take too long. I'm sorry.
No, you got to think about that. You should. If somebody asks you, do I believe in the Torah? I say,
Believe,
yeah.
The word believe.
Yes, believe. I study,
Everything
I
in
read
the Bible I don't believe because there's a lot of things inside there. Yeah.
Okay.
So when I can't use a blanket statement and say I believe everything, and I know there's mistakes inside there. Right.
What's your nationality?
I don't know everything. I know that one. Okay, let me tell you. I'm telling you. In my DNA, I got Ghanaian. I have Nigerian. I have Korean.
Who's your father?
Excuse me?
Who's your father? What nationality is your father?
Nigerian.
No, nationality is your father. He's all mixed those? He's all those?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We did the DNA. I'm from Virginia. We came on one of the first boats down in Chesapeake area. That's where my family comes from. A guy called Kofi.
So you got Korean in you, right?
Yes, I do.
I can tell.
Right. I told you I have Korean.
I can see that.
Right. But
Now,
that's
we believe that the what's it called again? Moab and Ammon. You know who Moab and Ammon are?
you can refresh me, sir.
Okay, you know the story of Lot.
Yes, I do.
Okay, and Lot had sex with his. Lot had well, he didn't know they had sex with him. His two
Okay.
daughters. Okay.
Okay.
According to the Bible, and they have two sons, Moab and Ammon, through incest.
Yeah.
Okay, and they're basically they're cursed. Basically,
Who told you that?
according to the Bible,
Who's cursed?
Moab and Ammon, because they're the product of incest, they're called mamzers, or basically bastards.
It was Ham who was cursed, right?
Moab and Ammon. Okay, you know what Moab and Ammon is?
To this day,
Uh-huh.
tracing the line, the lineage, maybe I can't do it as well as you.
But I'm telling you,
That's because I asked you that question about Abraham. Are you connected? How do you know that you were?
because we believe that we're descendant of Judah because of West Africa, slave trade in West Africa.
Sure.
And 70 AD. You know about 70 AD when all the majority of the Jews ran from Jerusalem into Africa.
What kind of Jews you talking about?
I'm talking. What you mean what kind of Jews?
I'm asking you because there's different types of
Okay,
Jews.
I'm talking
There's
about.
Ashkenazi.
No, we're not talking about the crackers. I'm talking about them.
Yeah, I'm asking you.
No,
I have to
because you know why? Because they're converts.
I understand.
Okay,
I
look,
understand.
I'm
You know
talking
what?
about-
Mr. Dave, me and you don't know each other, so I have to ask a question because I
Okay.
don't know where you are. on
Okay,
certain
listen, I'm
things.
gonna show you. Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. That's what you call the southern kingdom. Okay, according to the New Testament, that's basically what it's about. Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Now the northern kingdom, they was gone already. Okay, they basically the Most High basically took them out of Jerusalem because they sinned against them. So who was left was the southern kingdom. Okay, you follow me?
I understand.
Now, when in 70 AD, okay, when Rome sacked Jerusalem, the Jews, okay,
I don't use the word Jews because the Jews, that's a word that was invented back in when the King James
okay,
Bible
put it like
came
this.
out. Yeah.
Jew is short for Judah or Yahudah. Yahudah is Judah in Hebrew, according to the Paleo.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
let's say Yahudah, okay, or short for that is they say Jews, the southern kingdom. These are the Jews. Judah.
I don't use that. That word Jews. You see, when you say Jews.
Okay, but listen, you know what I'm talking about, right?
No, I need to know. You need to distinguish.
Listen, the southern kingdom.
Yeah, you said Yehudi. Okay, so.
The southern kingdom. This is the southern kingdom.
Sure.
Okay, and they ran into Africa, and they lived in Africa for like 2,000 years, and then the slave trade. You ever heard of West Africa?
Yes,
They
sure.
call it Negro land.
I lived in Africa.
Okay, West Africa, Negro land. The majority of the basically the southern kingdom, like on West Africa, were took as slaves. Okay, slave chain, and brought over here to America. So that's why we believe, okay, that so-called American blacks are descendants of Judah.
I understand.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to say.
That part I got.
Okay.
I lived in even East Africa.
Okay.
I got people who have an oral tradition. These are people called the Rendili. Rendili live in Kenya. And their dialect is unlike any dialect in all the area of Kenya and around there, but they're similar to Somali.
Okay.
If you go to the oral tradition and their traditions, they all say that they came from Israel. Okay, they say
probably did.
They did. This is their oral tradition. Even this tribe that I was with in the desert, they live in the desert, so the British never colonized them because they didn't care about the desert because of the scorpions. Okay.
So let's get back to what's the Egyptian law you're talking about?
Medu Netor.
Medu Netor.
It's called, or negative confessions.
Negative confession.
It just happens to be, just
Okay.
so you know, the Ten Commandments are not written in the positive. They're written in the negative. It says, "Thou shalt not."
Okay,
So
there
I'm just letting you know.
are thou shalt not. Now you're only talking about year 613.
Yes, I understand.
Okay, but what are you talking about? Just the 10?
Well, I was just letting you know because you were talking about the commandments that Moses brought down.
Okay.
Moses brought down the commandments. I read about that thing
Right,
there.
right.
So at that point in time, he didn't have the 613 at that time.
Okay.
But he did have the commandments, and those commandments are
Wait,
there.
wait.
Those commandments.
Slow down.
Right.
Do you know how the 10 Commandments came about?
Ten Commandments existed before he did that stuff.
Do you know how they came about the 10 Commandments in the Bible? Because
Yeah.
it doesn't say 613, it says the 10 Commandments.
Yeah, I read that.
Okay, anyway, I just want you to know my position. Okay, I want you to know my position on this. Okay.
It's okay.
Okay. My position is that we don't believe, okay, that the Lord was dealing with the Canaanites like that.
I understand.
Okay, that's my position.
I understand.
And I'm sure you have a different position.
All the thing I'm saying
Okay.
is that when Moses fled, when he killed the Egyptian, he fled. You know why he fled?
Yeah.
Because the law was already it was there before he went there, before he went up to the mountain. So he
Okay.
fled because he knew what the law said. The law said, if you shall murder, that even you thou shalt be murdered. So he fled. He fled. He did. There was like, it wasn't like there was no law that existed. It was there.
Well, of course.
I'm sorry, you filmed it up. I didn't give you no permission for that.
Yeah, camera right there too.
And you
Yeah, but I
feel-
just said I didn't give you permission to film me. You could have asked me. You could have asked me. That's the proper way to do it. You know, we do those
She
things like
feeling me using the way.
Yeah,
but
you was in the
gotta
way.
edit me out. Though.
Okay.
Okay, I
So
added you.
listen. Okay, so listen.
Yeah.
Listen, it's like this.
Yeah.
All I want you to do is know my position on that.
I got your
Okay.
position.
I'm
You're
not-
trying to say those people, who, even though they got the same law,
I
you're
listen.
saying that it doesn't
You
apply.
say they're the same. I haven't looked at it.
Okay, well that's good. That's good.
haven't
You
looked
need
at
to check out the Mentor,
Well,
and
okay.
guess what? It predates.
Okay.
It predates.
Well-
That's why Moses was trained in the way Egyptians. He already knew about the law.
Okay, but that's what you said.
No, well, yeah, you can check it out.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
I never tell people, don't believe me. Check it
Yeah,
out.
I'm gonna check
But
it
the
out.
Mentor, you can take a trip today and go read it. You can go read it for yourself.
Why can't I don't read Hebrew? I mean, I don't read Egyptian.
But you know what? That's no excuse for any of us, even for us. I'm just
Well,
saying.
listen,
There's no excuse. There's no excuse. I'm just saying. If that's the case,
I'm a Hebrew Israelite.
It's
so
okay.
I'm trying to work on my Hebrew.
I was a Hebrew too.
Not my
David, I
Egyptian.
was a Hebrew too until
How
I
come
started.
you was a Hebrew?
I'm trying to tell you. Why you think I know? Aleph, Bet, Camille, Dalet, Ha. Why you think
That
I
don't
taught that
mean
to
nothing.
I taught my
The
children.
devil knows that too.
What do you think I lived over there for as a Hebrew to Hebrews? Why do you think that?
Oh, so you was a convert.
No, the people even from Israel came to my house.
Okay, what's a Hebrew?
Well, okay, here we go. Now we go back to Judah. Okay, that's
Who?
what I said. Judah.
No,
The
but
real name.
what does the word Hebrew mean?
Okay, there's different definitions.
Matter of fact, where did it come from?
Okay, you keep asking me different questions.
I'm trying to make it easier for you.
No, you're not making it.
Okay, what did Hebrew mean? I'm gonna tell you. The word Hebrew means from the past. Okay, you ever heard of Abraham's grandfather? Okay, his name is
sure.
Eber.
Eber. Yeah, okay.
Okay, that's where the word Hebrew came from. Hebrew. That's why it's called a Hebrew Israelite. Esau was a Hebrew. You know, Esau, the one that came out red. Okay, he was a Hebrew. You understand what I'm saying?
Sure.
Because he was descendant of basically of Jacob.
So
I'm descendant of Isaac.
I understand. All I say is that what's interesting is that the laws already existed before Moses came down from the. They already existed.
Okay.
And they're written for you to go see even today.
Okay, a lot of laws.
We're talking about the exact same laws.
Well, let me find out. Let me
Yeah, okay,
see.
that's-
I gotta
that's-
find out. Let me look. Let me.